Simplified Chaos, episode 92.
Life is beautiful and full of chaos.
And it can get slightly out of hand if that shit's not tamed.
We're here to share how to simplify the little things to help you lead a more intentional life.
This is Simplified Chaos.
Hey, wonderful friends. Welcome to Simplified Chaos. This is Jillian, one of your hosts, and I'm with my husband and handsome co-host, Nicholas.
What's going on, folks? Hope you all are having a wonderful week. As always, we have another great episode here for you today. Jillian, Jilly, what are we diving into?
We're talking about our anniversary.
Happy 6-year anniversary, honey.
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
6 years.
I got a fun resource for this episode, too.
Oh, can't wait to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into the anniversary shenanigans, let's dive into a little gratitude. What are you grateful for this week?
I am grateful for support. As always, my mom is fucking
The Rock.
The Rock.
Dwayne
for
The
sure.
Rock Johnson.
You know, not only is she watching Lucille and my nephew while both of us work, me and my sister, but I also got to go to acupuncture right after work, and that would not happen unless my mom was there.
Yeah.
So thank you,
I didn't even know
Mama
you were
Bear.
gone today.
Yeah, maybe like 10 minutes after I got off of work, I went to acupuncture, and it was phenomenal. It is my therapy session that I absolutely love, and I feel so much better going there. I do that once a month, and my mom is just amazing. It would not happen without her. So support is literally everything. So
Shout out to Mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm going to stick with a common theme here and be grateful for my parents. So your mom next week is taking a well-deserved break from being such a wonderful caregiver to our kids and to our nephew. And she is going to Ocean City for the week. And so we're like, what do we do as far as childcare goes?
Oh, shit.
There we go. So, idea, we are working remotely. We're not working from home. It's called remote work, which means you can work anywhere. So I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure my parents will go for this. How about we see if we can head down to their place on Sunday next week. They're in Delaware. And see if they'll be willing to watch Lucille as we work. They have a couple of rooms that we could be separate in and you know, still go about our respective work days.
Respective.
Yeah. Well, you start a little bit earlier and end
I
a lot
know.
earlier than I do.
It just sounds funny.
But I was like, let's see if they'll do that. And they were like, gee, let me think. Sure. Absolutely. Please. So the nice thing is, not only will they be there to help us out while we have to work next week and while your mom gets that well-deserved vacation, we will continue to work. And then I'm taking Thursday and Friday off next week just to be able to hang out with them a little bit more and hang out with Lucille. But we also have the quote-unquote condo from Friday to next Sunday. So instead of us driving 2.5 hours to Ocean City on Friday evening, we're only going to be driving 40 minutes to Ocean City on Friday afternoon and catching up with your mom before they head back. So it's like one of those situations where I love it when a plan comes together. Mm-hmm. And so, I think I'm grateful for my parents, but, largely I'm grateful for the support that we have too. And like I said, your mom has earned a well-deserved break. And I hope that she has an amazing week when she's down there. And yeah, that's about.
Now I just wondering, are we going to podcast next week? Because we're going to be at your parents' house.
I guess we got to figure that out.
Yeah.
We have to talk. We may have to
communicate.
We may have to do a little podcasting on Saturday after Harvest Fest.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to my man Pizzle, hosting a little Harvest Fest at his house. But yeah, we'll get that figured out. We'll make sure there's an episode here for you all next week. So
Right.
that's for Jill and I to worry about, not you folks. But
Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm like, oh shit, we're gonna be gone.
yeah, so our planning is week to week. We are not very advanced planners with the podcast. We used to be pretty advanced planners, but now it's just kind of like, well, whatever's going on, because this is a crazy world we're living in these days, and shit happens from week to week.
I
So,
like real time anyway. Just
I do too.
kind of picking topics as
Keep
we
it real.
live it.
That's right.
Keep it real and
Keeps
raw.
it fresh in my mind, at least.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to go back like 5 months ago. Remember that time we did that shit? Nah.
No.
Anyways, we digress. How about we jump into the anniversary shenanigans, Jilly?
Yeah. So
It's not really shenanigans. I'm blowing it up.
I mean,
Way
it's
bigger than it needs to
shenanigans
be.
for us, I guess.
I like our shenanigans.
So I thought first we could just share what we did, and then I had a question from a listener, and then we can dive into a resource because it might be a little bit longer than normal because it has some activity involved.
Oh, okay. So
Questions
the
involved.
resource is a big part of the episode.
Yes,
you,
it
you
is.
you alluded to this a little earlier when we were out walking, so I'm really curious to see how this exercise goes. I'm just thinking of that one book that you bought before we got married, and you were asking me a bunch of questions out of the book. Remember
Yeah.
that we were walking around?
Yeah, it's different.
Okay.
It's different.
All right.
But
Should be fun.
it should.
I like it when she keeps me on my toes.
Oh, I do, and I always will, and that's why I love you. Stick with me. Even with
got
my
it.
Crazy ideas. So yeah, I thought we'd just share just really quick about how we celebrated our 6-year anniversary.
Yeah.
We got really wild.
We got so wild.
So usually we do go on a dinner date somewhere solo. This year we did a double date, and it was really cool meeting up with some friends. And of course, we went to a banging restaurant in Annapolis called Level. Shout out Level.
Level small plates.
They have, yes, so much amazing food, and the cocktails are always on point.
It was funny, like my buddy, who I very rarely drink cocktails with him. When I'm usually hanging out, it's usually beer, but my man went all in on the cocktails.
He had like 6, maybe?
I think he had 6 at the restaurant, and then we had one more when we got back afterwards, but we'll save that to the for what we did.
Yeah, it was just really super chill, very cozy, because after we had dinner and drinks, we walked around Annapolis for a little bit, and they had
Yeah.
live music in the streets, and
It's
I
a
felt
different
kind of
atmosphere down there now.
I felt like a tourist. It was like I was on vacation. I'm like, this is really cool.
Well, it's not like anything that we've seen in Annapolis since we've been here. And every now and then they close off West Street, which is one of the main streets that goes into Annapolis. And there's a bunch of restaurants on there. And they do this every weekend now where they close off West Street. And all the restaurants bring their tables out and put them in the middle of the street. And it's just a really cool atmosphere. They had live music going on out there. And then we walked down more towards the docks, and there's more live music outside. Still tables along the street. Nothing's closed down that direction, but I mean, it's a different way to experience Annapolis than we've ever experienced it before.
Yeah. And then, afterwards we went back to our house, and Lucille was asleep. Luckily, my sister, shout out more support. My sister and Mark watched Lucille.
I was surprised that she was asleep by the time we got home, because we got home about 8:50, and usually she's still either kind of up or in the middle of going to sleep, but evidently she had been asleep already for like a half an hour at that point. So
Yeah,
bonus,
so
whatever Randy did worked.
we had a little bonfire going, and we sat outside and just chit-chatted for a little bit more and ate some peanut butter pie that's still left over from my sister's wedding that we
Shit was so good.
defrosted.
So
'cause
good.
There's so much pie left over, and
I think we just wrapped that bad boy up tonight.
Yeah, it was a very chill, amazing night with really good people. So it was fun to share our anniversary and celebrate with some friends.
Yeah, and actually this was the night before our anniversary. So our anniversary
True.
was Sunday, and we went out on Saturday. But yeah, it was a great evening. Everything from the company to the food, the drinks, just the atmosphere, the weather was perfect. The fire, I mean, you couldn't have scripted a better night. It was just a lot of fun, and for us, that's our thing. Like, we want to be, obviously with each other. We love each other's company.
You're okay. I really want to.
Don't bullshit
I
the
want to
people.
be around you that well. Not
They don't.
much.
They don't believe you for
This
1 second.
podcast is not going to last that long
No.
because we're going to get divorced soon.
This podcast is on its last leg.
I should knock on wood.
Yeah, do that.
Because Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis.
Well, yeah. I can promise you that's not happening here, guys.
Can't promise anything. Promise me no promises. Sorry, I've been listening to that song on Kids Bop with my students.
I don't even know what that is, but
It's okay.
More power to you. But yeah, just an amazing night. That's all we really want is each other's company, good food, good people, good cocktails, a nice fire. I mean,
It's the simple things, really.
That does it for me. Yeah.
You're in simplified chaos.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, do you want to say what we actually did on our anniversary day?
No, I didn't really think that was important.
It's not, because we didn't really do anything.
We didn't.
I mean, I played softball that night.
Yeah.
I did some yard work during the day. You went over to your mom's house. Like, it was just a normal
Yeah.
day.
We use Saturday night as our like celebration time.
Yeah, yeah. And for us, being simpletons, if you want to call that,
Simpletons.
no cards, no gifts or anything like that. Just,
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about mentioning that.
Yeah,
we don't. Our gift is each other.
Yeah.
The presence of each other. Yeah, we stopped doing cards, I would say, a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's just we just cut through the bullshit. We obviously say happy anniversary to each other. I grab your butt maybe a couple more times.
Little makeout
A little makeout session. Yeah, keep it. But I mean, no, for us, it is about the quality of the time that we spend together, and that's all we really need.
Yeah, and if like you felt the need to express yourself in words in a romantic card, and I'd be like, cool, that's awesome. But
I have other ways to express myself.
I actually remember the day I told you, I was like, I know you always give me a card, and I always ask for a card, and I was like, you don't have to do that anymore. And you're like, okay, and that was it, and we just haven't done it since, and it's awesome.
It's less stressful.
I was just gonna ask you, like, how do you feel about like not having to find a gift or a card or anything?
I mean, you've made my life completely stress-free when it comes to anniversaries, birthdays, Mother's Day, any kind of event that you can put out there. I mean, it's really simple, and vice versa. Like, I'm not expecting anything. I don't want anything. I just want to spend it with the people I love the most. So I get what I want every year.
Same here.
Yeah.
I guess
but that's just us.
Yeah,
that's
and I guess
us.
I think it's the norm. Like, I didn't even think to bring it up because it's just what we do now. But I guess it is different. A lot of people may not celebrate that way, but we've been doing it for so long that it's become our new, like, it's just us. Like,
would you say that our anniversary card, quote unquote, to each other is the obligatory social media post now?
I guess so. I guess that's true. We do write a little something something, but it's on social media. Yeah, I guess so. The new card is social media. Isn't that something?
It is.
I didn't think about that.
It's like you're on the mountaintop shouting out your love for me.
Right? It's pretty powerful.
Yeah. Hallmark, you're going out of business, dog.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to dive into our question?
The question from the listener,
question
then the
from the
resource.
listener,
All
yeah.
right, let's do it.
It was really last minute, but one of our listeners, Amanda Joy Jones on Instagram.
What's up, Amanda?
She asked, do we have any traditions for celebrating our anniversary? And she just mentioned that, that she tries to get really good at celebrating, and sometimes like they don't have any traditions. And she was wondering like what we do, if we have any specific things that we try to do every year.
I mean, I would say for us, it's really simple. It's finding a great restaurant to go to and enjoying each other's company for a couple hours. Now that we have Lucille, it's as much as we love her and want her to be a part of our life, like this is a day for us to kind of do us.
I would say we always have alone time.
Yes.
We go somewhere. There's
With good
food and good drinks involved, and each other, and that's pretty much like non-negotiables, whatever we decide to do to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, our first date was at one of the best restaurants that we've ever been to. It was our favorite sushi spot, and ever since our first date, food and good drinks have been like a staple of this relationship,
It makes us
and
happy.
continues to be the staple. So yeah, I mean, our tradition is really just the finding a great spot to have dinner. I think in the past we would try to do something where we would go away for maybe a night, but obviously with Lucille, we love being around her and we want to be not far away from her, but
We still have our getaways. It
Yeah, we
just doesn't
do.
always
doesn't align with the
anniversary
anniversary.
weekend.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say we're definitely like, we're not huge planners when it comes to celebrating. It's kind of like in the moment, real time. How are we feeling? Where do we want to go? And then we just quickly plan it. So yeah, that's what and I had a great discussion with her. I just wanted to bring up because, you know, she's been married for 10 years.
Congratulations, 10 years,
right?
big.
And I was like, that's amazing. I said, what's one piece of advice you would give people to like a lasting good marriage?
Ooh,
and
good question.
And she said, while we do a lot for our kids, we put a relationship higher up on the totem pole since it trickles down and ultimately impacts our family and kids. We like to spend more money on getaways for just us. She said, sounds selfish, but I hope this makes sense. She also said, we've seen so many couples give all their efforts to their kids and they just seem to slowly drift apart. And then I was just responding that I was like, I totally get that. And I believe in the same kind of attention without Lucille, as you know, as well. I think there's attention that we give Lucille, and there's attention that we have to obviously give to each other. And this kind of brought up an interesting point that I think selfishness is a really good thing when it comes to your
I mean, it's a good thing when it comes to relationships. It's a good thing when it comes to yourself and putting your needs, because I always go back to the airplane analogy where they always tell you to put your mask on first and then put your child's mask on. And it's like, in order for you to take care of somebody else, you have to be able to take care of yourself first and be your best self. And you can't be your best self if you don't put your needs in front of all those other things. So I think the word selfish has gotten a bad reputation because we've put it in that light that it's just like, well, you're doing everything for yourself, and that's not necessarily what it is. I mean, you have to be selfish and make sure that your needs are taken care of first before anybody else's, because then it's just going to open up a whole can of worms, and you're not going to be able to be your best and take care of other people if you can't take care of yourself. So no, that to me, that doesn't sound selfish at all, and I completely 100% agree with it.
Yeah. So hopefully that was okay if I read that conversation out loud, Amanda. She's probably listening. I just thought it was a great thing that she brought up, and
Yeah.
I'm just like 100% agree. It's just about the kind of being selfish in a marriage and how it's important that we do that, and we spend a lot of money on getaways too. And
We do. But we budget for it.
Yeah, and
I mean, that's when we look at our year for, you know, next year, which we're going to be coming up and doing, it's like, all right, well, how much are we going to spend on ourselves to make sure that we have time together and do what we want to do?
And that kind of brought me up to a question that I kind of wanted to ask you and kind of brainstorm on here. It's just that, you know, I was kind of reflecting on how many couples getaways we had just with us since Lucille was born. And I could count...
It's probably a handful.
1, 2, 3, 4. I could count 5.
Wow, a handful.
Yeah, exactly. And then I could just kind of had me like, it would be kind of cool to set a goal on like how many couple getaways we want in a year.
So 5 in 2 years and change?
5 in 2 years. So my goal is to do, this is probably a hefty goal, if we did 1 a quarter, so if we did 4 getaways a year, and that really means we got to have support, and it could just be a night.
That's more dinners at, what is it, 9...
Vin 909.
Vin 909 for mom, yeah.
So I just thought it'd be fun to kind of set a goal for just getaways for me and you, and try to do like 1 a quarter, and see if we can get that going.
All right. Are you talking like local getaways or
Anywhere.
Getaway? Okay.
Doesn't matter, as long as we're spending the night for 1 night. That's all that matters.
Word.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
Let's consult with our support.
All right. You ready for our resource?
Let's dive into it. I'm a little nervous, a little excited, but let's do it.
All right. So it was a blog post, and the title of it was 9 questions to ask your spouse to strengthen your marriage.
9 questions. Here we go. Are you going to answer these questions too, or are these just straight?
I'm not going to do all 9, and I will answer them if you want me to. All right. It's not like horrible. Stop giving me that look. If you can only see his face, it's ridiculous. All right, so I'm going to read a little blurb first because I really liked what they had to say. And
I like how you set these things up.
Totally resonate with it. Okay. Early in a relationship, you ask questions for information, like where did you grow up? What's your favorite food? What brings you the most satisfaction? You're learning about each other, and information is important. As your relationship matures, the questions should become more intentional, and your skills at asking them need to be honed. If you're asking the same questions you did in the beginning, it's tough to move your relationship forward. Questions that strengthen relationships aren't primarily about gaining information. They're about gaining understanding. Information makes us more knowledgeable. Understanding makes us connected. Seeing things through your spouse's eyes enables you to see his or her heart.
Ooh,
I really like the whole
deep.
intentionality
Yeah.
part. And this kind of motivates me to be a little bit more intentional about asking you things. And I feel like our questions have evolved over the years, because I never would have asked you, like, what are your goals this week? Like, and I do that totally
Yeah,
now.
no, you do.
And
I'm glad I also had this Boulevardier before you asked me these questions.
Damn it, you killed your cocktail already?
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, my
It's
water
delicious.
is very refreshing. All right, so you
I
ready for the first one?
I figured it was a little too late for alcohol for you.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I'm nervous.
It's not
I'm
bad.
kidding.
Okay. It's not like what's your favorite sexual position and how can I pleasure you more? Actually, that would be a good question.
All right, we'll get into that. That's the bonus episode.
All right.
There is
Number
no
one.
bonus episode.
What are some things we used to do that you would like to do again?
That we used to. Okay. Man, these are thought-provoking questions.
I can skip it if you want to think about it.
So, things that we used to do that I want to do again. God, I'm just going to say the first thing that popped in my head.
Okay.
And it's going to have to deal with sex.
What is it?
The exercise room.
The exercise room. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you most enjoy about that thing?
I don't know. It's just a different space, and possibly somebody could come down and walk in. I don't know. Maybe it's just
That we're being
the
spontaneous
taboo of it, or
and
yeah,
somebody could catch us.
yeah.
Like
Because
you're a
I
teenager?
remember I would come home from work and you might be downstairs working out, and then all of a sudden it was like, hello,
All right,
time
so
to go.
more spontaneous sex.
Maybe
Things.
Yeah. I mean, I think we still do that, but that was just like the first.
No, I'm glad you said that. The
I
fact that that was
feel
the first thing
like-
that popped in your head was kind of funny.
But I feel like, we've stayed true to like our values ever since the beginning of our relationship, like as far as the things, and I think because we're doing this podcast, because we're being more intentional in what we do, that not many things have really fallen through the cracks. So I really can't think of anything else besides of something silly like
Yeah.
doing it in the exercise room.
No, I think it's awesome.
What about you? Were you able to think of anything for that one?
I miss hiking a lot, and
Okay.
I know I can make excuses and saying, well, Lucille, it's a little bit difficult. I could buy one of those really expensive things and put her on my back, but part of me, this is going to sound selfish, but part of me likes hiking without Lucille. I like not having to worry about another tiny human being and what could happen out there, I guess. But
Yeah, I mean, we had that hike a couple months ago along the Patuxent River.
Yeah.
And I know that at some point got challenging with her wanting to be in the stroller and then us going uphill with rocks and stuff like that. I know that that's probably kind of...
Yeah.
It makes things... I definitely understand what you're saying. I mean, we couldn't take her on that hike that we did out in Harper's Ferry, where we took that long loop. Like, that's just not
Yeah.
happening at all. But, like, simple flat trails are fine, but they're not as challenging for us.
Yeah, so
I feel you on that.
I do miss our hiking trips, and I think maybe that's something we can plan to do more together on our like couple times. It's
Yeah.
just going hiking or a day date versus
Well,
the
it
night
is funny,
date.
when we went down to Charlottesville, like our intention was to hike. I think our intention was to hike Old Rag during that trip,
Yeah.
and we decided, like, you know what, we just need a fucking chill weekend, and we did that. We did a small hike, which was about 2 miles
Yeah.
round trip, and it wasn't strenuous at all. But no, I feel you.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2.
Number 2.
What things about our life together make you happy?
I mean, there's a lot of things I can say on that one, but I mean,
We can skip that one. It's not as good.
it's not
But
as
if you want
juicy.
to, it's not as juicy. But I guess if you could say like 1 or 2.
I mean, it's everything. It's our adventures that we take. It's the intentional date nights that we do. I mean, it's just like everything that we do is amazing. So
Well, I think it's just good to hear that from your spouse too, because I
Yeah.
think we make assumptions and we think that it's awesome, and then you could say something completely different. Like the whole sex in the exercise room totally blew me away. Like I was not expecting that.
I don't know why it was the first thing I thought of, but maybe it's the
No.
Boulevardier. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
No, but I like that because I think this would be a fun exercise just to do. Like our listeners could do with their partner, just to.
Jill just dropped the mic.
I didn't drop the mic. I'm caught in the cord though.
Our headphones have extremely long cords
Like a
that could
jump
wrap
rope with
around
them.
us 5 times.
All right. All right. So me doing number 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do 2 more.
All right. What's something you'd like to do together that we've never done before?
Ooh.
I know what I'm going to say.
Oh, god damn it. I know exactly what you want to say. Okay, no?
You don't.
All right. So what do we want to do? Read that question one more time.
What's something you'd like to do together that we've never done?
I'd like to skydive together.
Shit.
What?
No, I've
I know
already done it.
you
So
had
I
a
really
bad
don't want
experience.
to. It was cool, but I really don't want to do it again. So we'll go to the next idea you have.
Oh, man.
No, you don't have to think of it now, but yeah, I did it once. It's not one
Spend
of
a
those
weekend
things.
in a haunted prison.
No, fuck no. That's scary as shit. You're just saying things to piss me off now. God damn it. All right. So mine is I really want to go roller skating with you.
That's awesome. Like we were gonna, you know what? We were gonna do that for your 30th birthday too. I forget what happened and why we couldn't do that, but yeah, I'm down to rent out Skate Zone.
I don't even have to be inside. It could literally be like I want to purchase
No,
roller skate.
we're going to a place where there's DJ playing and hopefully playing like shit from the 90s, like
Okay.
Soul for Real and even like the Backstreet Boys and all that shit. Play that.
I don't even know how well I would skate, but I've been.
Oh, I know I'd be great. I'd be phenomenal.
I found this Instagram too that it's just people dancing on roller skates outside, and I'm like, that they just look so fucking free and happy. I'm like, I want to be on roller skates.
I see rollerblades seem to be making a comeback.
They are either one. I really like roller skates, but
I
I'm
know.
willing
Give me
to,
the quads all day.
all the quads
All day.
All right. Okay. Number 4. I don't know which one I want to. So you said one more.
Yeah, one more.
Okay.
Make it juicy.
Okay. What was the last thing I did for you that you really enjoyed, and what made it so pleasant for you? Just say it. You got that shitty grin on your face.
You do. There's so many things that you do that just bring me joy. Whether it's like hounding me to put spinach on my sandwich or something like that, and part of me does it just so that you will hound me to put greens on something or eat more greens. There's sometimes, special mornings where I might walk into the room and things happen and then we all would go to work.
What?
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it very
Okay,
ambiguous.
it said, what was the last thing I did for you that you really enjoyed? And then first you went from spinach and then you went to sexual activities.
I mean, I'm always going to relate it back to sex.
Okay, but so I don't even understand. What is your answer?
There was a morning 2 weeks ago.
Oh, so the last thing that you enjoyed was 2 weeks ago.
Oh, God. Now that sounds really horrible. But it's the first thing that pops in my head. I guess,
Oh, man.
like, you're making me think on my toes.
No,
and
it's okay. I know the way to your heart
that wasn't
is...
probably the last
I know the way to
thing.
your heart is spinach and sexual activities.
Y'all are thinking I'm just a deviant or
I
something.
think this is hilarious. Please don't edit this out.
I'm not going to edit this out.
All right. Good talk. That concludes our questions.
Good Christ. Do you have any... That was our resource. So y'all can have fun with this resource. We'll post it in the show notes and have some fun with your spouse, like we just had here, because that was a little silly. Good questions.
Yeah.
Some silly answers. Hey, what was the last thing I did for you?
You brought me up some water in my Yeti. That was
Good
really sweet.
Christ. Now
It's
you
the
make me
little
really
things.
feel like I'm a sexual deviant.
You are, and that's why I love you.
All right. So you have a quote of the day for the folks?
I do.
All right, drop it.
All right. The quote of the day is by Dave Meurer. A great marriage is not the perfect couple. Oh, sorry. I messed that up. A great marriage is
Strike
not
that.
A great marriage is not when the perfect couple comes together. It is when an imperfect couple learns to enjoy their differences.
Nice. I like that.
Like you're a sexual deviant and I am a grateful simpleton. Just messing with you.
Fair enough. And take action. Blah, blah. Take action challenge
Is just to be selfish with your
Yes.
relationship.
Yes.
Get real selfish and have fun with it. So yeah, that's all I got.
Perfect.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. If you could do us a favor, if you like this episode, please help us spread the message. You can.
You can't.
I have snot in my nose right now. That's really messing me up. Man, this is going to be fun. Anyways, you can help us spread the message by writing a review or simply sharing this episode with a friend. And remember, sharing sparks a conversation. Conversation leads to action, and action's how we're able to live a happy and intentional as hell lifestyle. I hope you all listen to the end of this episode.
Please don't.
Like, don't ever turn off the ending thing that we say every week because you never know what's going to happen. But we really want to thank you all for listening to us today, and we will see you again next week.
See you next week, y'all.